Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I built an automated accounting system for one of my businesses. Bookkeeping, keeping up with transactions, understanding how the business is functioning. I've been able to do all of that through AI, and I'm going to show you and teach you on how you can do it. Now let's go through to the automation. Now, as you can see, how this automation basically works is it looks out for my email. Are there any email transactions going into the bank account? And then it goes through to the first module. And the first module is a chat GPT module. And I've trained it to say, look, you're going to look at all the emails coming in and you're basically going to output all the details, the accounting details of the email. And here I structure my text into actual structured data. I add it onto a Google Sheet that I'll show you how to do it. And after that, if it is a new transaction, it adds on as a new row. But if it's an old transaction, it updates that row and it goes onto the accounting software Xero. Now, I used to use an accounting software called Sage, but unfortunately, Sage is not available on Monday.com. And that's the reason, on make.com. I'm thinking of Monday. And that's the reason why I've actually migrated. So if you can look here at Sage Clouding Business, it is, or it looks like it's available. But unfortunately, when you click on it and you want to connect your account, it only allows Canada, Germany, Spain, France, UK, and Ireland in the United States. It does not allow South Africa. And as a result of that, that's why I had to switch over to Xero. Now, Xero is an amazing accounting software. If you want to get a Xero accounting account, go through to my description and you can use my link to sign up. And if you use my link to sign up, I will make sure that you get this automation for free. All you need to do is send me proof that you've been able to do that. Now, let's go back and understand the automation completely. The first thing that I had to do is understand what transactions do I need to be doing in my banking software. And I think, let me actually log on to Xero quickly to show you guys exactly the type of transactions that happen in one of the businesses in my bank account and how exactly I wanted to make sure that I am doing my accounting properly. Now, you might be asking yourself, how is this important? This is important because essentially you can actually become an accountant for other people. You can offer your services as an accountant to other people, and you can actually grow this as a business skill because it is something that you can actually utilize. Now, let me quickly log in to my accounting software. I'm just making sure that I'm putting my password so that you guys can actually see that password. And after that, I will be able to show you. Cool. Now, this is one of my business bank accounts. And as a result of that, I had to pay an accountant to do bookkeeping, to reconcile the bank accounts every single day. And now I built my own AI automation and I'm able to do it through AI, and I believe accountants can use this. I believe many other people can use this. Let me actually go ahead and show you. Now, this is my Xero bank account, and over here, I'd have to come in and reconcile every transaction in the business. And what I'd have to do in the reconciliation process is I'd have to come and match the transactions. I'd have to come and write down where the different transactions are coming from. And as a result of that, you can see after some time, it becomes quite tedious. And sometimes the accountant would say, well, I don't know what this transaction is for. I don't know what you were doing here. And as a result of that, I then developed a system that's going to be able to do that utilizing AI very simply. Now, the first thing I do is it watches all the emails coming in. Now, I want to build this for you so that every single person who wants to understand and learn how to build this, you can actually open up your computer and follow me through the process as I build this. But also remember, if you join my membership right here on YouTube, you can get all of these automations very easy and you can just plug them in and you'll be able to actually download all of them. So you come here to my channel and you click on join and you'll see there's a video here that explains the membership. Now the 12th one, as you can see, here it is, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5 per month. Now, this is where I coach you, I guide you, I teach you AI automations, show you what I do, teach you how to trade, teach you everything that has to do with the fourth industrial revolution and how you can make money utilizing all those skills. So become a member and get all of this for free. Now, when you are a member, I send you my template and all that you have to do, you come here and you click on import and immediately you have all the information that I would have shared here. Now, let's build this from scratch. If you've got to make an account, open up your make account. If you haven't signed up utilizing my link and you will also get a free access to that. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select Gmail. Now, the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to actually select the bank accounts. You can't do that. The banks have not yet given the access to their spaces. So this is my Gmail account. Now, if you know, this is a trigger. It is a polling trigger, and every 15 minutes, it's able to bring in all the emails and analyze them. So I can choose here to say, look, I want this polling trigger to maybe poll every 4 minutes, or I can actually schedule it using advanced scheduling, which I'm not going to do right now. So that's the first thing. Put up your emails. Now, the second thing you can see that I've built is I've put in a OpenAI module to analyze all my emails and take every single email that has to do with finances and put it in there. Now, what you do here is you come through here and you say chat, and you get that module, and you can say create a completion. You put it in here. Now, as you join, it's automatically going to join here. And when you open it up, you connect your OpenAI account using the API. And if you don't know how to do that and you want to learn, just type it in the comment section, teach us how to connect the API, and I will teach you and show you that. The module, you can use any module. You can use System 4.0 module. The maximum tokens, if you just put 0, it's essentially going to use as many tokens as it can. Now, the message. Now, depending on whatever business you're doing, the role, you'd use a user. Depending on whatever business you're doing, you would be able to come and type in whatever message that you want to type. Now, let's say, for example, for this example, let's use somebody who's got a grocery store, right? So to say, I sell grocery online. I want you to take each email that is a transaction. So as you can see, I mean, I'm not going to take a lot of time typing this. You just come and type in whatever you need to type in. On my side, I did it on my business. I explained exactly what my business is and what it needs to do. And I give it all that information. Now, that was the first module. So basically, whenever an email comes in, it's going to analyze the email. Now, if the email is somebody saying, hey, I want to find out how you are or what you're doing, it's not going to take that email because that email doesn't actually have to do anything with a transaction. But if the email is about a transaction, it's going to be able to do that. And that's quite effective and quite simple for it to understand and do. Now, the next step of this is that you then come and put in another module, because once it gets the email, it's going to actually have to give you out the amounts that you need. Now, let me show you how I did it on mine. What I did is I came in and I told it what it's supposed to do, but I came in and I said, right, return the extracted values in a 100% valid JSON. Now, JSON is a programming language format as shown in the example below. Now, I gave it an example JSON. I gave it a copy of the JSON. Now, I'm doing a trading transaction, so the order ID, the amount, the platform, and the subject, whether it's a new transaction, I need to release it or cancel it, received or expired. So this is about trading. And then I said, strictly return only a valid JSON result. Do not include any special characters. And I basically give it all the information. Now, it's going to give you information. Now, you need to map that information to your Google Sheets, or you can use any module in Xero. Now, let me just show you on this new one that we're building, because there's some amazing stuff you can do here. Now, for example, if I'm doing that, so over here I've said, look, I sell groceries online. I want you to take each email that is a transaction and output it, etc. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to come to ChatGPT and you're going to say, transform text to structured data. Essentially what you're saying here is you're saying, whatever the numbers or whatever text you give me a structured way, because I want to put it on my accounting software. So if we just come here and save, now if you come in here, it's going to ask you, so what text do you want to put in as structured data? Now, the module, you can use System 4.0, text to pass, maybe it can be the results, whatever text you want to put in, maybe the results, and then the prompt, please give me this as structured data. And here, you're able to actually add in the structured data. Now, the one that I built, and obviously anybody building it, you'll build it for your own business. Now, what we've done is I've got a team behind me, and we build solutions for businesses. So if you're a business out there, you're an accounting software, you can contact us. We'll come and do a consultation for you, understand how you're using your accounting software. We'll build AI, help you become more productive and more useful, and help you develop your business. So we'd be able to do that for you. Now, what we would do is you open up the module, and once that module is opened up, please give a JSON output. That's what we said. And then I come and I basically explain every one of the items that I need for it to give me. So you can essentially get any piece of data that you want from any email or any transaction for you to be able to put out in your business. So you'd come and do that. And the next step here, adding structured data, for example, it's going to give you the perimeter name. So the perimeter name here, it's the first character must be a letter or underscore, no commas. Now, the perimeter name, you're just telling it what data you want. So, for example, if you're in a grocery store and you're selling goods, maybe you're selling vegetables, you could say the perimeter name, you could say sale veg. or sale veggies, right? That's your perimeter name. The description, you're going to say it's a sale of vegetables. Now, I'm just going to type very fast here, so just excuse the data. You'd say, look, it's going to be a number because it's going to be a financial number, and then you give it an example, and you say maybe the example will be $19 or $2, and after that, you then come and click OK, and you save. So essentially, you're saying to it, look, I'm going to be selling vegetables. Now, it's saying the module is not set up. It's talking about the Gmail module because we actually need to come and choose where or how our emails should come in here. So let's quickly do that. Or mail. So you're able to actually choose whether you want to do it a label, perhaps, what you want to do, maybe, only your sent mail or whatever. So you could just come and say all mail, simple filter, a Gmail filter. Now, a Gmail filter allows you to search for specific things in Gmail. So use Gmail search syntax, e.g., search for messages in the social category that's included an attachment to use. So you're able to do that. Now, because this email that I've specifically set up is for business transactions, I just want a simple filter. And my criteria, I can choose all emails and mark email as read when fetched. I could say yes, because I don't want to have emails that are showing unread. And then number of results, you can say, look, every time you run, take 10 emails. Let me just delete that and then say okay. And then choose where you want to start from. So you can choose, do you want to start from a specific date or do you want to do all the emails? Now, for auditors and accountants that have to do books for like years on end, you're able to put in all these books in here and it's able to do that for you. Now, I could choose from now. Let's just say okay then. And remember our ruler, auto align everything. So we've got two modules here. The first one, you get the email comes in. The next one here, you check all the values of those email. It understands the email. It checks if the email is a transaction, a veggie transaction. And the next thing, it puts it as structured data. Now, the next thing that I did is I created a Google Sheet, right? The reason I'm using Google is because in my business, I'm able to plug in so many more data points into Google, and that's the reason why I used Google. But if you're in like a vegetable store, you're able to just use automatically your accounting software. So for example, and just to put it out there, guys, let me just quickly show you here. Just to put it out there, all accounting softwares are available. So whether you're using Sage, it's available. Whether you're using QuickBooks, it's available, or whether you, and it's just the big ones, whether you're using Xero, like I'm now using Xero. And the reason why I'm using Xero is I think the discount is really amazing. As I've said to you, yeah, I think they're quite phenomenal. Sorry, it's Xero with an X. Then you come through to Xero, you can come here and say, look, I want you, whenever there is a sale, you can come through, and all of this is all available, by the way. All of it is all available. You can call it a purchase order, or you can come and actually call it, what's the word I was looking for? Purchase order or an invoice. Now, I'm not an accountant, so accountants would know better, but you could come and say, create an invoice, or you could call it a purchase order. Whatever you want to do. I think for this example, let's use purchase order. So you can come here and you can say create a purchase order. Let's go to purchase orders. So create a purchase order. So cool. There we go. After that, you can put as, now I'm just going to zoom in. Let's just quickly zoom. There we go. Zoom in so everybody can see, right? So you can say create a purchase order. Now, you might be asking yourself to say, cool, why is it that the first one is search, right? Because in the business that I am in, somebody places an order and then we send them a quotation. They accept that quotation, make a payment, then we release. So now in your business, it's different. So every business model is different. I don't know what your business model is. I don't know how you're doing it. So maybe in your business model, maybe the structure you need there is to search something. If you don't have to put it in. In my business model, I need to search for that invoice and then mark it as paid. So let's do that just to show everybody how exactly it is done. So I would come through here, instead of putting a Google thing, I would come through and just write search on that module. Now, what you put the module, it'll all be here, search. And what am I searching for? I am searching for a specific purchase order. Let's quickly see. Invoices, contact. Where are these purchase orders? Contact, accounts, tax rates, assets. Hold on. Let me just do that quickly. Go down to invoices, bank transactions. Now, this is all stuff that accountants would be busy with. And I'm quickly going to show you purchase order. Cool. Yeah, there we have it. Get a purchase order. So returns information about a purchase order with a specific ID. So this is basically a search module. So you come in here, you put it in, you're searching for the purchase order. Now, once you've found that purchase order, if it exists, obviously you need to update it. Has the person made the payment? Are they maybe querying something up on it? But if it does not exist, you need to create it. So there's two parts here that split, right? And the first part, now, when it comes to automations, and I want to make sure that everybody understands this completely, right? When it comes to automations, you're basically creating your own robot that's going to be able to do the work that a human being would do, and you can decide how it should function. Let's say there's somebody who's gone on your online store. They've placed, I want to buy the vegetables that we're creating. That would be a purchase order. So you would have to create a purchase order. But let's say that person has already created a purchase order, but they haven't actually clicked on check out and buy. And maybe they come back into the store and maybe they want to, cancel it because they didn't like it, or they want to buy a different type of vegetable. So if they come and cancel it, you need to come and update that specific purchase order to say this person has cancelled it. So you can't just have a one-way fits all. You need a router. What is that? You're routing the information into two parts, deciding which path the router should go. So what am I going to do here? And let's go back into our scenario. We're going to come here to the tools, because we've got tools that we have on our platform, and we then choose a router. What is a router? A router allows us to go to two different parts, to take the data and send it on two different parts. So we've got get a purchase order, which is basically search the purchase order. Then we've got a router. Now the first route is to create a purchase order, right? If somebody wants to buy a purchase order, they're creating it. Now, if somebody wants to maybe cancel that order, they haven't paid for it, you then need to come and update that purchase order. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to come back to our Xero software. We're going to look for the purchase order. Let's go through to the purchase order, credit note, manual, quotes, items, payments, purchase order, update a purchase order. And we're going to come and update a purchase order. So what have we done so far? We've said, look, you're going to look at all the transactions that happen on Google. Now, I've just put a Google here. You could put anything. It could be transactions that happen on the bank account, by the way. Let me show you. Now, the reason why I didn't put transactions that happen on the bank account is because I always felt that South African banks don't have an instant trigger. Now, I know other banks do. What does that mean? It means you actually get a transaction, an email or an SMS about a transaction in your bank account faster than you actually get your accounting software reporting that. But if your accounting software does report that, you can actually come here and say, watch bank transactions. So instead of you putting in a one that says watch emails, because I put in emails because transactions happen faster in South Africa through email than they do on the accounting software, you can come and say watch bank transactions, and the same thing. So instead of having this, you would come and you would have it like this. Let me just show you. If I move this out, so I would unlink this, and I would come and I would link this, which is my Xero transactions, and it would start there, and I'd put the poll there, and now it will come from Xero. So we're not doing that for now. I'm just going to unlink this. This is just to show you, for example, if maybe you want to know how would it work if you are an accountant and you want to watch the bank transactions. Now, what's going on here is that we're routing it, create a purchase order, update a purchase order. We're routing it to different routes. Now, after that, I've updated the row and created a row. It's the same thing there. Then you go onto the Xero bank and then you decide what you want to do. Now, remember, on Xero, what you need to do is then reconcile transactions. Basically, you're coming into Xero, and this is the work that accountants do. They come in and check, right, what was this for? This more details. It was a transaction that happened to this bank account, and this was the amount, and they need to come in and say who. They write who it happened to, what was the transaction? Was it a cost of sales? Was it a goods? Was it an expense? Why? They fill in the why. And after that, then that reconciles the account. Now, accountants, you guys know more than me. I'm not an accountant. I'm just the guy who understands the fourth industrial revolution, AI, blockchain, machine learning. I understand them. I consult. I have a company that is able to build these sort of systems for many different companies that we do so. So you'd come and put in whatever the accountant has told you that you'd need to put in. Now, the next level of this, and I think this is the part that's quite beautiful, is that you are then able to come and decide what path it should take. Now, my decision was to say, after you update a row, you then come to a router and update that specific transaction in the bank account. Now, what you can do from here onwards is, now, if it's a new transaction, it's going to come here. If it's an old transaction, it's going to go up here. Now, you might be asking yourself, before we get to this, maybe let me just add this transaction, then we can continue, right? So here, I would come back to Xero and I would say create and create a bank transaction. so that I can come and match that bank's transaction. But you might be asking yourself, right, Mpho, I see that the email is going to come in. Go to chat. Chat's going to decide, right, this is what the email is saying. It's going to decrypt that email. And after it decrypts the email, it's going to come and give me the details of what the email is saying. Then it's going to come and create a purchase order. And then if it's it's going to come and search the purchase orders that are already existing. If it does not exist, it's going to create a purchase order. If it does exist, it's going to come and update the purchase order. And after that, I've just aligned it and just put this one at the bottom, so don't worry about that. Just making it neater. Remember, this is our ruler to make our automations neater. It's going to come and create a transaction. Now, how does the data know how to flow? It's something called a filter, right? So what I can come and do is I can come and say, you're going to come here, and this label is going to come and be called update. So update purchase order, PO, right? And the condition here is to say, if the purchase order ID exists. So if there is already a purchase order ID, meaning this is a purchase order that already exists in our database, then you must come and follow this route. So this is a router. Then here I'm saying, look, if the purchase order does not exist, so if the purchase order does not exist, you must come and actually create a transaction. So that's what I've done. I've created a route for it to actually take place. And voila, you're done. You essentially have created an accounting system that automates the whole process. Now, how would a human being do this? Maybe for those that don't understand how this context would usually work in a real life situation, is that the human being would have to take the bank account, input it into Xero or Sage or whatever accounting system, and go and reconcile every transaction and hand it over to auditors that would then be able to give you the financial statements that have been audited. But the accountant would be able to do all of that. Now, what we've just done is we've done the work of an accountant just through AI. So that's quite interesting there. Now, let's go back so I can show you how mine actually runs. And if you've been creating your own, you can actually run yours as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, choose where to start. And I'm going to say, let's select a date. So the date that I'm actually creating this, I can maybe say, let's start on Friday, 2 p.m. Happy with that. And I'm going to say, okay. And then I'm going to say, run once. Now, what is it doing? It's going to go look for emails with transactions. And after it finds an email with all the emails, it's going to come and take the email. And it's going to take it through. Now, I'm just going to show you what it did. Now, obviously, it's going to run a lot because I've just said to it, run a lot. Let me stop. But basically, you can see it's running transactions here. They're going through. It's searching for emails, finds the email. Let's have a look at an example of an email. Here's an email. This is what the email says. It's a Binance email. This is what's going on there. And then it goes through to chat, and chat then gives out the outputs to say, right, here's the JSON that we programmed. Remember, it's giving out those outputs. Then here it turns it to structured data, and the structured data is visitable here. All the structured data comes in and gets mapped into my Google Sheet. And after in my Google Sheet, it comes and creates the new transaction, or it comes and updates an existing transaction. And there it then fires up and comes and updates in my Xero account. Now, I'm going to stop this so I can show you the results of what actually happened. Now, let's have a look at the first thing. Now, it picked up an email. Email came in. It gave us all the details. Says you have a new P2P order on Binance. And I'm able to see everything about the email. I'm able to see the context of the email. I'm able to see all the details of that specific email because it's actually essentially getting the email. Then it comes through to my chat where I say, look, analyze this email. If the email has anything to do with P2P, come and give me all the details. Says, right, I've taken out all the unnecessary words. Here's the JSON. It's an order ID number. Here's the amount the person wants to purchase. Here's the platform, and it's a new one. And then it comes in and it turns it into structured data for me. It says order ID amount, Binance new. And so basically it comes into my Google Sheets and updates. Now, let me quickly show you my Google Sheet. Here's my Google Sheet. It gives me the amount, gives me the platform, gives me the new, gives me the order date. It gives me all the details that I need there. Now, it moves on there and it routes this information into two parts. If it is something new, it comes and creates a row. Now, you might be asking, what are the filters? Let me quickly show you. The filter is, if the email comes from the bank, don't take it. Let me open it up. If the sender email comes from APSA, don't take it. Why? Because my bank account sends me transactions and I don't really want transactions, because if it took transactions from my bank account, it's going to be thinking that whenever I get money in my bank account, it's going to be thinking, oh, that's a transaction. That's somebody who's actually placing an order, and that's not true. So I've put that as a filter to say anything that comes from the bank, don't take it seriously. Then the next transaction that the next filter I've put in is to say, if the value is 0. So there are people who place, for examples, who send you an email and they're not really wanting to place an order. Maybe they're just saying, hey, I want to buy this type of vegetable. Do you have it in stock? So that's not an order. So I said, if the amount that they're willing to pay is 0, it's not an order, so don't let it pass. So that won't pass. Then it comes and updates all the orders that I've got here, and I'm able to see them, understand them, and use them and contact people if I do need to. Then there afterwards, it comes and, it searches the row here. Sorry guys, this is the search row. I made a mistake there. After it searches the row, it comes through and it adds a new row if it does not exist, or it comes through and it updates the row that it actually found. Then it comes through. Now, because we stopped it, obviously it's going to say that 0 has stopped because we actually forcefully stopped it. But yeah, that's how you create an integrated accounting software. Now, you're able to create everything. You're able to watch invoices. You're able to get sales invoices. You're able to do so much for your accounting or your business utilizing this method just by what I've been able to teach you. So this is a way that you can grow your business, grow your company, actually become your own accountant, and actually make your own books or help your business actually do well in accounting. Now, remember, if you sign up using any of my links, there's a benefit. If you sign up and become a member, there's a benefit. So make sure that you are able to do that and you join me in understanding how you're going to use AI and you're going to use machine learning, if you're going to use technology to grow, enhance, and boost the business that you're already in. Thank you so much, and I hope you found this useful. And if you did find this useful, do me a favor and share this with 5 people, because too many people on the internet are not learning new skills, and I'm here to deliver and help you learn and understand new and amazing skills. Thanks so much for joining me.